poop in the tub. I'm not gonna poop in the tub.
So basically, Sakurai is going to direct the next Super Smash Bros. Game. Let me preface by answering these questions. Do I think there will be any cuts for this next game? No, of course not. But Sakurai said it's impossible, even though Fortnite and Fall Guys also have characters from those same developers. He creates this drama so that when he'll bring everyone back, that his bots will praise it as an industry-defying triumph. Don't take it the wrong way, though. Having this bloated roster sucks. There are over 30 characters that I personally believe serve no purpose aside from satisfying Sakurai's ego. We don't need close to 100 characters, especially when they are characters that don't help market the product, while we leave out characters that possibly can market the product. So what is Sakurai's focus? His focus clearly isn't marketability. It's which characters is he most fond of. I think that Sakurai will push the roster to over 100 on the next game, and I have a good idea of who he might include. So here's a list of 10, nay 11 characters that I have come up with of who I believe Sakurai will add to the next Super Smash Bros. And these will go in order from the best and most logical choice to the most inexplicable, just downright nonsensical vanity pick. And I think the last character might actually shock a lot of people. So here are 11 characters I expect Sakurai to add to the next Super Smash Bros. Sakurai has no excuses now. I believe that for the longest time, designing Paper Mario was just not possible with the engine being used. For whatever reasons, Sakurai couldn't make that happen, and instead, he gave us Dr. Mario as compensation. Modders also have been unsuccessful in trying to recreate him until just recently. These mods look really good, and every move and animation is true to the Paper Mario game for the GameCube. So if Sakurai is the developer he says he is, he should put his money where his mouth is and add Paper Mario, because if he doesn't, then he's not the developer he claims to be, and we should have these models direct Smash Brothers instead. I think that's fair. Tom Nook. Absolutely Tom Nook. This is possibly the safest prediction you could possibly make here, and it's also one of the most positive. Tom Nook was also a character that was hinted at being a playable character in the Isabelle reveal video, so it's eventually going to happen. But what makes this a great choice for a character? Simply because Animal Crossing is one of Nintendo's pillar IPs. Animal Crossing New Horizons sold almost 50 million copies as of this writing. Sakurai would be extremely foolish not to give at least a moderate amount of effort when it comes to Animal Crossing. I truly believe he can deliver with Tom Nook, with a unique moves that's true to his character, while offering slightly more heft compared to Villager. Ryu Hayabusa. Another good choice that I see Sakurai going with. Ryu Hayabusa is Koei Tecmo's most popular character and arguably the last classic character from Japan to be playable in Super Smash Bros. Considering that he has his own series as well as appears in the Dead or Alive series, there's plenty of resources to reference in terms of his potential move set. And not like this would be a serious concern, but Koei Tecmo has been very open to crossovers in recent years. Decades of history, and just had a mainline game release just weeks ago. It would be a big shocker if he didn't make the base roster of the next Smash Bros. Game. Kai, or another character from Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave. It's no secret that Sakurai is a Fire Emblem mark through thick and thin. The amount of Fire Emblem characters is downright obnoxious, and this is coming from somebody that has played Fire Emblem since Radiant Dawn on the Wii. Fire Emblem isn't going to be a flagship series no matter how hard Sakurai tries to shove the series down people's throats. But I'm okay with new additions, so long as they get replacements. Robin has to go. Roy has to go. Chrome has to go. Corrin has to go. They're not evergreen characters like Mario characters are. Marth and the most recent protagonist are the only two that have the entitlement to make the roster. Do I think Sakurai will cut Fire Emblem characters? Of course not. But that isn't to say that adding Kai would be a bad thing. Magolor. A pretty safe bet. After releasing Kirby Air Riders, we should expect to get at least one new Kirby character. It remains to be seen if there's some secret character in the game, but for now, Magolor would be my guess. Kirby, having no new characters in the Smash Bros. Series since Brawl in 2008, does seem very odd, given all the games that have been released since then. I would not mind a new Kirby character, quite frankly. Magolor certain doesn't seem all that exciting, but I would welcome it. It's weird for one series to have 3 villains in it in Smash Bros., but at least none of them are obsolete. Uni. Now, we're getting into the questionable category. Who is Uni? My thoughts, exactly. Uni is an ally character from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. However, she is not the main protagonist, though she does have strong ties to that main protagonist. Once again, I don't think that Sakurai wants the main protagonist, and instead will opt for female ally yet again, going with a healer this time. Certain Xenoblade 3 characters have what is called an Ouroboros form, which would make for an easy final smash to think of. Uni is one of them, and frankly, hers has the most interesting design, making all the more reason for Sakurai to pick her.
Saving the best for last, we have Uni's design from the extra section of the art book. This design has the most radical departure from every design we've seen of Uni so far, with her having a different color scheme than her final design with the blacks and whites, a double-breasted coat, shorts, a pouch on her right leg, different shoes with her socks visible, and her having a pink ribbon across her waist. Honestly, I really like this design for Uni, but it's still fitting her personality, and I wish it was an alternate design for her in-game as a special costume.
Alear. Of course, Alear. From the previous Fire Emblem game. Why not? Didn't I tell you how obsessed with this series Sakurai is? I could certainly see Alear make the base roster and then Sakurai, quote, surprise us by making Kai the DLC. Stubborn Sakurai has everything you want in a Smash Bros. Character. Of course he, she, it is a Fire Emblem character. He's a sword wielder, and he's a complete eyesore. That hair is just awful to look at. I made an entire video about Alear, and in it, I predict Sakurai will incorporate mechanics with Alear that he said was impossible with Rex and Pyra. So we are only on number 7, and yet there are 4 characters left that would be even dumber than Alear. Only Sakurai. Mai Shiranui. This should infuriate you. I already know Sakurai is a world-class liar, but if this doesn't cross that line for you, I don't know what will. It will be Sephiroth all over again, where he intentionally leaves content out the first game and then brings it into the next game and has to make up some convoluted story about it. There was nothing that stopped Sakurai from using Final Fantasy content except for Sakurai. There are tons of games dating back to the early 2000s that have Final Fantasy crossover content, and Sakurai creates this narrative that only he's the one that has managed to get the rights to the same content. And that's not it. Sakurai could very well just recycle the King of Fighters stage, since Mai didn't make a cameo in it, and because of that, that would make less work for him to have it transition into the next game. And I haven't even brought up why Mai Shiranui doesn't make sense. Mai Shiranui is from the same series as Terry, Fatal Fury. If you're using guest characters as DLC, you want to count on using that DLC to sell Smash Brothers and get new fans to purchase the game for $70 or $80. But if you already have Terry, how many fans would make the jump because of Mai? Capcom and Epic Games at least put both Terry and Mai in simultaneously. And speaking of Capcom, here is somebody that would be equally as ridiculous. Chun-Li. I know that a lot of people know who Chun-Li is, even more than Mai. She is certainly of icon status ever since the early 90s. She has appeared in countless non-Street Fighter games along with Ryu, Brawlhalla, Fortnite, Free Fire, and Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, to name a few. But that's the key phrase, along with Ryu. Now that we have Ryu, what does the product have to gain with Chun-Li? Rather than Mai, and rather than Chun-Li, you could instead get a character that could help increase sales. And I know exactly Sakurai's excuse. He'll say that Nintendo asked him to add Chun-Li because she's, quote, the most prominent female character in gaming. In case you're new to my channel, Nintendo doesn't ask Sakurai for anything. He's the director. He owns every decision he makes on his projects. We got 2 characters left, and they would be so insane that Sakurai would definitely include them. I understand that some fans like the character, but these are the facts. Gino is only just a one-time character and appears in a game with another character's name in the title. He doesn't have his own series, he's not owned by Nintendo, and much like with Mai Shiranui and Chun-Li, he comes with no fiscal gain. But as we have all learned, facts do not stop Sakurai. And I know people are going to argue, well, he has been heavily requested for over 25 years, and I couldn't care less. That quote ballot that every fan likes to tout around is useless because it only polls the small amount of consumers that are already heavily invested in the product and disregards potential or new customers. So Sakurai said 1.8 million people voted. Think of the abysmal global audience that WWE gets every week on Netflix. The ballot had even less participants than that. But without further ado, here is the overall hands-down worst character I could imagine Sakurai add in Smash Brothers. Yes. I do believe Sakurai would be insane enough to make Sans a playable character. Yes, I understand that the game has sold insanely well for an indie game, at least 5 million copies sold, but it's still an indie game. You're basically implying that Sans has more value and more prestige as a character over Resident Evil, Assassin's Creed, Monster Hunter, Tomb Raider, Mortal Kombat, franchises that have had big screen movies, some even for decades now. I wouldn't put it past Sakurai to deem all that irrelevant because he's done that before. He's blown money on characters that he personally wanted. If Sans were owned by Nintendo and were free to use, then that would be a different story. But alas, he's third party and also indie. And let's not forget that Sakurai has invited Toby Fox to his house. If you invite the creator of a game to your house, you must be the biggest fan of that franchise and have a strong bias towards that series. Now I'm not sure how you could transition Sans into a 3D world considering he's a 2D sprite. We can't have Paper Mario for obvious reasons, but Sakurai can go out of his way to make MII assets of Sans and Cuphead in a form they've never assumed before, 3D polygons. He just clearly makes up the rules as he goes along. So before I close out the video, I'll just mention some other characters that you might have expected to make the list. First, Waluigi. I just don't see Waluigi being high on Sakurai's priority list. There are certainly a couple of Mario characters that I would cut, such as Rosalina and Piranha Plant, but I don't think Sakurai has the nerve or the common sense to cut anyone. Master Chief. If I believed that Sakurai wanted Master Chief, he would be number 1 on this list, and Sans would be bumped down to 6th. Master Chief would be number 1 through 5. I don't care about Microsoft's involvement. I don't care that they have their hardware on Nintendo consoles. I don't care about their future aspirations in terms of hardware and software. They're still your competitor. It's still an opportunity to capitalize on letting your guard down for what? Is it worth it? Number. Banjo wasn't even worth it. You all got over him. Sakurai knows very little about Halo. He implies that Halo 3 doesn't measure up to Halo Infinite because Halo Infinite is a newer and larger game. That makes absolutely no sense. Isaac. If Sakurai wanted him in, he likely would have by now. Instead, he's got plenty of RPG characters that he wanted. Crash Bandicoot. He doesn't look like a character Sakurai would be all that into. He hardly puts any thought into Sonic, so just imagine what he would do for a character that only jumps and spins. As far as other Nintendo franchises go, I don't expect new characters from Donkey Kong, Zelda, Metroid, Splatoon, or ARMS. Pokemon definitely. Pikmin maybe. Maybe Olimar will get reworked. But let me know your thoughts. Am I wrong? We will see.